Hello, Indianapolis Motor Speedway fans. This week, we're hearing from Santino Ferrucci, one of the busiest IndyCar drivers you will find. He's not afraid to get in anything. Santino, thanks for hanging out with me here a little bit.
Oh, pleasure to be here. I mean, honestly, I don't know how you do the intro so good. Make me nervous. I mean, I'm so excited to see what we get with the team. You know, a lot of things happen in the off season, a lot of winter prep, and see how it goes.
Well, I think the first question everybody's got is, AJ Foyt, there's nobody more iconic in our series or at the Indianapolis Motors, frankly in racing. He is one of the Mount Rushmore faces that you would see there. What's it like getting to see AJ Foyt from the inside?
It's definitely unique, I'll tell you that. I mean, I'm down in the Houston shop once a week. Normally when me and AJ get talking, it goes on for at minimum an hour, if not two. So, and just listening to the stories of, I mean, what they went through as drivers, what they did back in the day, all these different stories, and you sit there and you're just like, you're crazy. I mean, like, I thought I was crazy. Dude, you're crazy. I mean, it's so cool. He's just so unique, so different. I mean, it's one of those things where you can only try to live up to be a sliver of what he was.
Well, he clearly loves our sport, really passionate about it. Are you kind of relieved knowing you have a full season, or is there a bunch of pressure knowing that it's a full season with AJ Foyt?
Honestly, a bit relieved. You know, it's one of those things to where this can turn into something longer for sure. We are kind of building the team from ground up, considering results of last year. There is a lot of good progress being made. There's a lot of raw speed in the car. It's all about that organization, getting everything put together, making sure we don't make any mistakes or any fumbles, and, you know, just try and build our momentum into Indy. I mean, that's our biggest goal, especially kicking off the season here.
So you ran the Chili Bowl for the second time earlier this year. Have you and AJ talked about short track and midget racing at all?
So this is pretty funny. So right before I went down to the Chili Bowl, AJ actually has 2 midgets in his shop, like one that he used to race, and he comes and pulls me out the slip from 100 years ago. I don't know how old, either way, it's like a little vanilla envelope, and it's got like $3 or $5 on it, and it's winnings from midget races from like the 1950s. He's like, this is how much we used to win back. I blown away. He still got some of that old memorabilia stuff that you sit there and you're just like, this isn't real, this isn't real. But you sit there and just like, whoa, this is really real.
I figured that's got to be, from AJ's standpoint, a little bit of respect for the fact that you're going to hop in something that's totally out of your comfort zone, right? Trying to learn how to drive that car or the front engine, bunch of cars there. How much fun is it, though, to do something completely different and do it in that stage of the Chili Bowl?
I mean, to unlearn everything that I normally learn, to do it backwards. Look, if I could just put my life in reverse for that race, I would be winning that thing. But it's so difficult. It's tough because it's 360 plus 380 competitors. You're all fighting for 26 slots into the final race. And every given night, you're racing against sprint car champions, midget champions, this champion, that champion, and you're just like NASCAR guys, and you're just like, dude, like, this is, I run this thing once a year. And last year, I didn't even run at all. I didn't even make a lap in practice, and I stuffed it high into the fence in spectacular fashion. So, I mean, it's like one of those things where it's like, it's tough. It's really tough.
So I've gotten a chance to get in a midget at the Speedway a couple of times, and it's really cool, right? But all I could think about is being upside down in one of those. There's no room to be upside down in one of those. That could not have been comfortable.
No, so I don't remember much of, I had a pretty nasty concussion. I remember falling from the fence line and looking down going, oh, that's pretty far. But yeah, no, you did get in one. I'm gonna try and run the BC39 this year at the track. Just racing in Indy, inside the grounds, is just magical. So to run that race also would be something like really cool, and it's a feat for me. So we're working on it. We'll get there.
Well, speaking of dirt, your first dirt race, I think, was actually in your first Indianapolis 500. There was a spectacular crash in turns 3 and 4, and you figured out a way to use the dirt to get through it. Was that just instinctive, or were you able to calculate your way through that incident?
I mean, everything, when you're in a wreck going 200 miles an hour, 200 plus, everything it's so weird. It slows right down. I mean, like, you can see everything happening in slow motion in front of you, and the only gap that I saw was to get back on the gas and straight into the short chute, right through the grass. And I'm sitting there and I was like, oh, this is gonna be really interesting, because taking an IndyCar through the grass normally never ends well.
Right.
But you know what? Why not mow some lawn? We're there.
It was helpful. The grounds guys didn't have a lot of work to do there. You kind of took care of it. So the last few years have been an up and down in terms of the IndyCar seasons for you. You've proved that you can drive just about anything. Your Indy 500s have all been top 10 finishes. You've bounced around a little bit, but you've had an opportunity to run with a lot of different teams and a lot of different teammates. Does that help you think?
Yes, it's one of those things that, especially this past season, to start the year off with Rahal, then go to Dreyer, then Juncos, and then to almost sub in for Penske, and then to AJ at the end of the year. It's like one of those things where you're like, oh, you're learning a lot of names really fast.
Yep.
You're then taking in as much as you can as a driver to, adjust operations for everybody, because everybody operates differently. And now being full-time with AJ, I'm gonna try and take everything that I've learned, apply it, get the right people in, get the right mindset going, because I kind of see how I want things to work with our team. I want a mindset. I want a certain level of organization, certain level of, hierarchy in a sense, just chain of command, and go from there. And to be honest with you, I think we've done a great job in this offseason prepping for that. But testament's going to show when we hit the track. Well,
obviously you've been good at getting in a car with 24 hours notice and being competitive, so the fact that you've had a few months to kind of prepare things should be a good thing. Hopefully. Now, we can't have this conversation without talking about something that I think our fans would be really mad if I didn't ask. So most of you know my stepson is Connor Daly, and most of you probably know that Santino and Connor are not exactly the best of friends. Where did that start, you think?
Oh man, you know what? It's one of those things to where I feel like all of the drivers, it's not even just Connor, it's even Joseph that I just can't stand. How about that? We all been over to Europe. We've all raced over there. We've all got our own, tendencies. And coming back here, man, we all just want to be top dog American. I mean, it's just how it is. So it's just, yeah, we've definitely butted heads a few times and here and there, especially at the Speedway. We've definitely had our run-ins. And you know what? It makes for great racing, because you never know what's going to happen between one or the other. And yeah, it's always entertaining. I mean, it's entertaining for us too.
Well, and I've told you before, and I've told Connor, as a promoter, people don't buy tickets to watch people hug, right? They buy tickets to root for or against somebody, and the idea that you guys kind of carry that rivalry on, I think is great for our sport. Makes it entertaining. I'm sure it does for you guys, too.
Hey, look, you won't necessarily see me throw too many punches at Connor, because I'm a little outnumbered height-wise. But I will certainly try if we get into it. But no, it's one of those things where I think it's fun. It gives you something to wake up and fuel that fire, and it's something that our sport desperately needs. We need that good old Tony Stewart, helmet throwing, Kevin Harvick, Chase Elliott type, real bronze to brains type deal going on. And I think the sport's gonna have it a little bit more this year. I think it'd be good for us.
Well, I never thought about the point of you guys going over and representing your country overseas, all three of you. Alexander Rossi, another one that's done that. That's really important for you guys. And you come back here and it's like, look, I'm the guy that's carrying the flag on my shoulder, and I want to be the top dog. Speaking of other places where you carry the flag, you ran some Xfinity races last year, including our place. How'd that go?
Oh man, you know what? It's kind of funny. Most of my Xfinity starts are in half-mile or mile-and-a-half tracks and up. The only road course start was at the Indy GP, and I can't tell you how much I struggled. I mean, everyone's like, you're gonna do great, you're a road racer, blah, 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 blah. Dude, there's so many nuances to run an H pattern around that track. I'm not even kidding, I blew every single break point by at least 100 to 150 feet in qualifying. It wasn't even close.
Too late.
Oh yeah, way too late. Not even close. I mean, I'm just sitting there like, I'm going in, I'm going hard, and nope.
I don't think people realize, so in an IndyCar, you're in the, 200-foot marker, or even deeper, right?
Yep.
And then in an Xfinity car, you're like 800 or north of 800. So it is a completely different mindset, and if you get in too deep in those cars, it takes you a while to figure out how to get them settled down to get out of the corner.
Yeah, the other thing is IndyCar, especially at the GP. I think a lot of people forget how fast we actually get going in the IndyCars at the GP track. We're almost hitting 200 before we brake for turn one. Brake reference is 250 feet to so you're going from 200 miles an hour to 30 and 200, 250 feet. In the NASCAR, you get up to maybe 165 and you gotta go down to 30, and it takes you 900 feet, sometimes 1,000. So the incoming rate in the NASCAR slowing down is just not even close to being in the same world as IndyCar.
But again, I think it goes back to your ability to try new things, your ability to handle new things, and you've been pretty successful in them. So I assume there's things you learn from that you'll be able to carry forward as well.
I do like defenders. I'm not gonna lie, I really do like defenders.
You can use them.
Oh yeah, trust me, I had my fair share of using the fenders in NASCAR, and I enjoyed it.
So any chance that AJ let you do some sort of double during our weekend in August, maybe run an Xfinity race and a IndyCar race on the same day?
It's not off the table. Put it that way. It is not off the table. It would be, honestly, for the sport, it'd be spectacular. It'd be really cool to see. We'll work on it. I think it'd be fun.
A little tired the next day.
Oh yeah, I'd be worn out. I mean, the Indy cars are physical, like really physical to drive. They're really heavy. They're probably one of the most physical cars I've ever driven. The NASCAR, it's just hot. Right. It's just like 150 degrees inside there. And so you're baking like a baked potato.
Yep.
So there's just nothing you can do about it. So yeah, it'd be a draining Saturday for us, put it that way.
Definitely would. Well, Indianapolis Motor Speedway fans, Santino Ferrucci, one of the most colorful guys in our paddock, driving for one of the most colorful owners in our paddock, AJ Foyt. It's going to be fun to watch him as the season gets going here, but it's going to be really fun to watch him when he shows up in May at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.